What's going on, Murph? And I don't really want to try to bag on you too much, right? But
Oh, you good, bro? Hey,
yeah,
hey, hey.
but me and he pretty much align in lockstep on this. Um, it is exactly that mentality where we say this is natural that creates that type of problem. Where we say, oh, it's natural for you to go out there and get as many women pregnant as possible, that creates this very type of problem. Because that's not natural. It is not natural to go out there and make a bunch of kids and in perpetuity and leave them. Let me not assume anything.
Let me ask you a question. Is it natural? Is it when you say it's not natural? You speaking from a mental state, or you talking about from a biological? When I'm speaking of a biological state, as a male, just a male species in humanity, it is my nature to connect with a female. I'm not saying that it's my nature mentally to make that mistake and do it and not have my ducks in a row or blah blah blah. And that's the part where I'm saying male versus man. I think it is unequivocally wrong for a man if you think you're a man and you go out and have a bunch of you want to go out and fuck a bunch of. I don't think that's correct. But if as a male nature being created as a male species in human and being in humanity, my nature is to be attracted to a female. And like my brother said earlier, you might have one night where you with one woman, you knock her down. As a male, you knock her down. You see another woman, she arouses, you knock her down. You see another one, you knock her down. So you didn't knock three women down. Mentally, you may not be wanting to do that, but by nature, being a male, you could because you're aroused. It's that simple. It's that simplistic.
So, Murph,
not saying. Go ahead.
So the thing is that we're sentient. We think. We have a mind for a reason. We're the smartest species on the planet for a reason. And part of that is because we're supposed to think through these type of situations. And with that argument, you're basically saying that, hey, like, okay, I get it. You wanted to knock down as many women as you possibly could.
No, it wasn't. It won't. It was a nature.
But it has to be a want. You can't say that it's like you have to want it to do
to be aroused. So my question would be: is to be aroused by a woman a want? I don't want to. Here's the caveat. I'm gonna give you an example because it's times that the majority of men I know or males I know have been around women that they were aroused by, and they may not, and the woman may not have been.
Hold on real quick, because you gotta kind of shut a mic a little bit. So if somebody asks you a question, just kind of shorten it up a little bit so the conversation can flow.
All right, I'll just say this. You can't add mentality to someone who's making decisions off of their physical state. That's what I'm gonna say. If you're not using your mind, we all know brothers that are not thinking when they do things.
But
it's that simple.
But here's the thing, though, is that's dangerous for society.
I agree.
Extremely dangerous. It's dangerous to have a bunch of men that don't think before they act. Because while want or otherwise, if you wanted to bag or it was imperative that you bag 14, 16, 14 women, you didn't have to get them pregnant. Right. That wasn't your nature to get them pregnant. You didn't have to do that. That was a decision. No. That was a choice. Right. Especially considering that we live in a period of time where you have the contraceptives to avoid that.
I agree. That's how you know. I always say, let me respond to what you're saying. That's why I know it wasn't it had to be a natural thing because I got aroused and I did it naturally. It wasn't a smart decision, so I wasn't possibly using my intellect. And so, in what you're saying is, I agree with you 120%. But I'm speaking on. We're talking about. Again, this podcast is about doing it, fixing things, and being positive and great. But the reality of what things are is totally also has to be recognized. And I just said the reality of it is it's a lot of our culture, black men that don't think before they do.
I'm gonna ask you a question because I don't want to assume this. You said you have 18 kids, 14 women, right?
Mm-hmm. Correct.
If you have to gauge the state of your children, 10 being they doing extremely well, and 1 being they in the gutter, where would you, on a scale from 1 to 10, place your kids at?
It would be. It's funny. I always think things happen for a reason. It's funny you said that. Literally, what you just said is literally what it is. I only have one child that that's actually incarcerated. My rest of my children are either married or got businesses and doing their own thing and are amazing. And then I got, of course, like I said, 2 little ones. But yeah, I had one that because I wasn't able to be in his life in those important moments, he did end up more so like me. He went to jail. And I never wanted that for him, but that's what happened. So but the rest, no.
Sweeney, you finished or no?
Go ahead, bro.
All right. So I think that one of the major disconnects a lot of people were having was when they were asking if you would change anything. You focus more on the lesson, but my first thought would have been like, all right, well, I'm glad I had my children, right? And instead, where that would be more valuable. I just want to take this back because I kind of understand the frame of mind when I was talking about the strip club situation, remove the consequences. And I'm thinking that a lot of this happened not because the lack of consequences, but you not giving a damn about the consequences is just not like it's just like not having consequences. So this is how humans will behave minus consequences left to our own devices. That's how people actually think sometimes. And it's unfortunate, but we're making it seem as if, it's a bizarre scenario. We understand that is wild. Fortunately, you were able to bring this to the table and go ahead and sit and be forthcoming about it. So we could discuss it. So I commend you for that. But this is how a lot of humans would behave minus their own devices. With left to their own devices minus consequences. If we really didn't think that these consequences would affect us, most of us are going to be out here wilding. We are scared of consequences. He had a lack of fear for consequences, and that's why he behaved like that. And there's no way to condone it. It was absolutely wrong as an adult. We know Correct. Right from wrong, but this is what it looks like when you're not taught to care. When you sometimes don't have a good foundation, right? He said he was missing both fathers. Both parents,
both parents, and that's why I said right? Shane
raised by the streets. So
I wanted to agree with Shane. Yep,
it's not cool, but it should have us focus on the importance of being in our children's lives, right? So knowing that, I will leave you with this: just how important that is, and you realizing how it does. And what it does to children who don't have the parents in their lives. Hopefully it taught you that lesson of the importance of being in your children's lives, as difficult as it may be, because if you're saying 14 BMs and 18 children, that's nearly impossible. I can't fathom a way to make that work. You know what I mean? All I can say is give it your best effort and try to give out as much game and wisdom as possible, because you can't undo it. We don't have a time machine. We can't do anything about it. But all I would say is, listen, devote as much time to your children as possible. Give them that wisdom, give them that game, just so they understand, and you could break the cycle.
Right, and I wanted to say, I thank you for the words. I wanted to ask Shane something. If because it goes back to really the beginning of this whole subject matter. If because we're talking about nature, if you're not as a male becoming a man or adolescent becoming a man, you're not using your mental, emotional, or spiritual self. You're only using your physical and only being natural. Isn't then doing the things that me and Mark was talking about, that's the only direction you're gonna go because you're only being physical. I think humanity, males especially, when we're only just being physical, when we're only connected to our physicality, it's nothing but sexuality and doing. It's only it's sexuality as it comes to the forefront. I always used to joke, and I had a thing I should say. I'm gonna make it quick. It's kind of like the judiciary system, our Congress and our presidents. You know, we got three different branches. You got your physical state, your mental state, and your emotional state. But which one is running your government of life? And I think in different moments in our life, some men have allowed their physical state, their nature, to run their mental and emotional states.